One of the questions, like I've had on the platform, I think you saw, I had some, I guess you would call African American.
What is the proper term that you're
Well,
most comfortable with?
it's
I like the term American.
yeah.
I
To
don't
me,
like I don't like Jewish American, African American. Try to
yeah, I would agree with that as well myself,
an American
because
maybe of African heritage.
and that is, that's debated too nowadays. You have those that say that we're actually the Native Americans that was here and that we're not the Africans. So that's those are great debates that we have without in our community right now.
If I could just pause and can I interject something on that point? Do you mind?
No, I want you to.
We're just getting to know each other, so you're watching this live.
Yeah,
Even though we've met before, could I say how we met?
yeah, of
It
course.
was a security. He did some security for an event by us. The claims of we don't know for sure how the Native Americans got here. I mean, for the listeners, I'm sure they all are aware of this. When Columbus was trying to find a route to India, he thought he arrived in the western part of India, hence West Indies, and he called them Indians because of that. Which is certainly not true.
Yeah,
But after time, scholars, even to this day, all these theories of how did they get here? How long have they been here? And there's debate going back to the 1600s with the Mormons. But the truth is, it's before the Mormons. There are even some rabbis who made this claim. Eventually, they forsake the claim, but that they were from the 10 lost tribes of Israel. Maybe that's what people are saying. There are Native Americans that do circumcision, and they have certain customs that people exaggerate it. They don't mirror Jewish practice, but there are a few overlapping things. John Adams dismissed it as a joke, but when Lewis and Clark went on their mission, I forget what one of the founders said to him, when you go on your mission to map out the country, could you talk to the Native Americans and find out if they're from the 10 lost tribes? And the very first best-selling book was about the Native Americans. This could have been the title, like a page title, and the probability that they were from the 10 lost tribes. So the whole idea of claiming, coming from the first Americans is fascinating. And yes, you're right, it's still ongoing because anything is really possible.
yeah. So I deal with me myself. I deal with us as people. I believe that we're all God's children. So that's for me personally. I deal with it as such. I don't deal with color and looking at us separately like that, because I think for me that's a plot of our enemy, which for me would be Satan, is to separate mankind. For us, we share a common enemy, and that common enemy is death. And for whoever believes, hell to follow. So I deal with that. I deal with understanding good from evil. Discerning the two, because I have met people of my own race that could be evil. I met people of your race, they're all races, that's the evil. So I'm more concerned with good and evil. When I study scripture, from the scripture that I understand and the way I understand it, that is what is more.
It's so important.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
In fact, people get upset and they look at it as chauvinistic that Jews don't knock on doors and say, hey, why don't you convert? Now, we accept converts, of course. It's not easy to do. There are several members of my synagogue that are converts. But just to this very point, there are three reasons why conversion to Judaism is rare. I'm talking about Orthodox traditional Judaism. Historically, it was a suicide mission. Why would you, if you lived in Iran, Afghanistan, till the 40s, when we were expelled, but why would you do that? Poland, Lithuania, you got it. It happened, but the chances of you dying, your actuary table just drops. You're not getting life insurance so quick. That's number one. Number two is it's a tremendous amount of law. It's a big leap. But number three, and I want to speak to those who take offense to this, that we don't knock on doors. Again, to stress, there's no law in the Torah that's repeated more often than loving the convert. Converts are held on a pedestal. That being said, we don't knock on doors because, unlike many other faiths, We don't believe you have to be a Jew to get into heaven. We believe, like you just said, that everybody is made, in Hebrew it's called B'Tselem Elokim, in the image of God, which is, of course, a translation from the book of Genesis, first chapters. And that, of course, applies to all of God's children. So in fact, when other religions knock on doors, what they're really saying, and that's fine, that's their right, is until you accept this, you're not complete and you're going to go to hell. We don't believe that. We don't believe that at all. You could be, we have an expression, tzadikei umos ha'olam, the righteous among the nations. And you don't need to be Jewish to, what was the old, in the 70s, before my time, there used to be a commercial that for a rye bread, you don't have to be Jewish to enjoy whatever company's rye bread. You don't have to be Jewish to get into heaven, is our belief. That's why we don't push it on people. Because like you said, everybody's made in the image of God. Jews are given this special task, we believe, that's beyond, even though non-Jews, we believe, have their own tasks, when we know what they are, certain laws that have to be kept. And it's a burden. It's a beautiful burden, but it's a burden. But we're obligated to believe, and we must not just speak it, that everybody's made in the image of God, and everybody has a responsibility. And so long as they're breathing air, God has a purpose for them.